Hi, I'm Lee Iridium. Hope everyone's doing all right today. It's album review time. Michael Romeo and War of the Worlds Part 2. This came out on the 25th of March. I'm just getting round to reviewing it now, but it's not one that you could probably review immediately. It takes a little while to, digest everything you need from this amazing melodic metal progressive album. It's a concept album. It's the part 2, like I said, War of the Worlds Part 2, and I still haven't got round to listening to part 1. But I mean, this is going to keep me going for a long time. This is just amazing stuff. It's got so many different sides to this album. It can be so catchy. It can be so cleverly technical. When it comes to progressive metal, I do like a lot of progressive metal, but there has to be toe tapping. My head has to go. I can't have it where it takes me completely out of the rhythm of the song. I have to get a groove, to like it. And that's exactly what this has got. It is just really hooky throughout, even though it's so technical. This is an amazing album, a highlight of the year for sure. Absolutely brilliant. There's obviously lots going on this album. There's some instrumentals, there's some instrumental parts within songs that sound almost soundtrack film-like. And of course, War of the Worlds, you're going to get that. It gives me elements of the classic War of the Worlds original release way back. God, I can't even remember when it was. But you get little elements of that coming in and out. So it's touched upon the classic War of the Worlds as well. It's just brilliant. Apart from the amazing Michael Romeo, of course, of Symphony X on the guitar, songwriter, just amazing musician. He's done one of the best things he could have done and got an amazing vocalist. Because I think sometimes in progressive metal, that's what I miss when I don't, like it all. I want someone who's got some aggression in his voice. And what he's done, he's got Dino Chalusic on the vocals. What a brilliant choice for a vocalist. One of my favourite vocalists as well. Dino Chalusic is just, man, I always say vocalists like this should never make you miss, although I always miss vocalists, obviously, like Dio. I miss Dio like, I can't tell you how much I miss Dio, and, hearing him release songs and going to see him live. I've seen him live a few times. But you know what, there's vocalists like Dino Chalusic that will sort of carry the torch, for vocalists like Dio, ones we really miss in the metal world. And he doesn't, I can't tell you what a good job he does on this album. And, although I would have loved this album with another vocalist because the songs are so great, Dino Chalusic elevates them even more. What a brilliant singer. I love him. Then you've got John J.D. DeServio on the bass, from Black Label Society, the band Black Label Society, and John Macaluso, I think that's about how you pronounce it, on the drums. Done loads of sort of different projects, one with James Labrie and Yngwie Malmsteen. So he gets about. Obviously the technical playing, they've got to keep up with Michael Romeo, who's just, this, like I said, this is a progressive metal, even classic metal album, but the playing is just amazing. No matter how hooky it is as well, it's really technical. So all the musicians are just like, they blow my mind. It's an amazing album. So guys, this is really heavy. Like I said, it's really catchy. It's really technical. It's just brilliant. It's everything you would want to blow your mind with hooky choruses and keep them in your head, but also blow your mind with, how the fuck did they do that? That was just amazing. I do run through my favourite tracks, guys, as you know. So the first track is like an introduction. An intro, if you like, a short classical piece with guitar parts to whet the appetite for what's to come, and you go into the single Divide and Conquer. And that excellent busy riff in the verses leading to some absolutely huge metal church sounds, I would say, like a modern metal church. The complexity of the guitar work just adds to the more simplistic rhythm of the chorus. It's sort of like a brilliant sort of mixture of both. in this whole song. It's amazing songwriting off the bat. The solo is just the first of many outstanding solos. And of course, Dino Chalusic's vocals match the guitar work. You have to get a vocalist to match the amazing guitar work of Michael Romeo and the rest of the guys in the band. And that's what they've got. What an excellent opening to the album. The next track I want to talk about is Destroyer. The heaviness continues straight into this relentless metal track. Odd time signatures work their way through the verses, while Dino Chalusic spits out his classic metal lyrics. Like I said, it's really what I'm missing. A lot of prog metal is like a classic metal singer. I know there's a certain singer needed sometimes for prog metal, you know, that sort of touches upon those 70s prog styles, but I like what I like, and I want a metal singer. So that's what I've got. There's an excellent instrumental part on this song where you get to some almost Indian style music before the song hits heavy again. Those Indian melodies continue with Chalusic trading off with the instruments. It's really clever stuff. It's classic stuff. The next song I want to talk about is Metamorphosis. This was another single. A brilliant, complicated intro leads into a really catchy, hooky track. Dino gives us that sort of soulful feel to this track with some super smooth lower range vocals. A brilliant metal track with classic rock overtones for me on this one. A mind-blowing, thrashy breakdown just tops off a huge highlight of the album. And it has that fucking catchy chorus, man. Absolutely brilliant. Then we get Mothership. It's an instrumental. It's a classical sort of instrumental with guitar infused as well. We get that a lot on this album, where it starts off a lot as a sort of a classic sort of symphonic sound, and then there might be some guitar work entwined throughout. Very clever film score stuff. The next track is Just Before the Dawn. Just wow. Absolutely wow. This is a ballad, if you like, a more straightforward ballad. It's not complex as much as the other tracks. Well, not as complex, but it's still, you know, really clever. A huge song. Dino sounds huge, as you would expect. This has to be a future single, surely. It's probably been released recently as a single, but it sounds like it should be. The track just drifts along beautifully with a catchiness that, you know, other artists would only hope to achieve. Remember, this is like a progressive metal album, but it's so catchy. The balance there is perfect. Some beautiful piano parts weaving in and out of this brilliant track. The next track is Hybrids, a dark atmospheric track that sees Dino singing in his lower range. He sounds brilliant. The track builds and builds and builds, and it reaches a great extended progressive instrumental section, which involves heavy riffing, odd time signatures, and piano before breaking into an excellent solo. Amazing trickery on the guitar by Romeo once again. The track is sort of bookended by two short vocal parts at the start and the end, and like that real sort of instrumental progressive part in the middle. It's an epic sounding one. It really is. Then you get Hunted. It's like another epic soundtrack, classical guitar instrumental type thing. The next track is called Machine on Mensch. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's over 9 minutes long. What you'd expect this to be, like the longest track on the album. A blistering near 2-minute instrumental section before Dino's Dio-esque vocals kick in. There's an amazing hooky soaring chorus that sort of slows down at the end of the chorus, sort of halfway through in the latter part, if you like. This is prog metal done at its best. It's always toe tapping, head banging, and that's so important for me. What a great track. As expected on this one, there's a big instrumental section that sort of takes loads of twists and turns, time changes, epic soundscapes. I love the quiet part where the soul in Dino Chalusic's voice really comes to the fore. He's just, you know, so versatile in his vocal, and that amazing sort of bass line as well that runs through this part is just amazing. The next track is Parasite. A doomy Sabbath-esque riff kicks this one off, and we're into a galloping, stuttering riff And that's just before the song really starts. What you get when it starts is almost a Metallica-esque verse. You know, when they're at their best, their heaviest, if you like, before they hit another huge chorus that soars to the heavens. A fucking brutal track, really, with so many hooks throughout, though. Amazing stuff. The next track is Brave New World. This is the outro. It's the end of the album. There's a couple of bonus tracks I want to talk about. It's the end of the album proper, though. So, of course, you get a film score, you know, soundscape type track. Classical again, with some guitar parts throughout. The bonus tracks are fucking great. So you get The Perfect Weapon, a brilliant track. It's almost like the feel we get with a previous track, Parasite. It's like that sort of Metallica sort of feel. Sort of an excellent mix of And Justice for All, the track And Justice for All, if you like, but given a 2022 progressive feel as well on top of that modern production. A bonus track that does not feel like an add-on. It really doesn't. It feels like part of the album proper. Jelusic at his most aggressive here, I would say. And the last track I want to talk about is the other bonus track. It's an instrumental, Alien Death Ray. So more epic soundscapes as you can imagine, with top quality musicianship. It's a cool way to end the album. I mean, it would have been okay to end it on Brave New World as it did, the outro, but these bonus tracks are cool and they just fit in perfectly with the feel of the whole album. An absolutely amazing album, guys. If you love your metal, progressive, technical, but catchy, this has everything. The vocals of Jelusic, like I said, are sort of more than enough matching Michael Romeo's amazing guitar work, and everyone in the band is just amazing. They're top-notch musicians. They can play anything, but the most important thing about this album, the songwriting. It's toe-tapping, it's head-banging, it's just amazing. Really recommend this album, guys. Please check it out. Michael Romeo, War of the Worlds Part 2. Get it. It's amazing, and I'll see you next time.